So let's start lighting this setup so we can start playing with the textures and the general look for this. First thing, I created this RS Ocean HDA, and this is a great HDA because this is a all in one place for rendering oceans in Redshift. I will go in depth on this node later when we start playing with the parameters here and to give the look. But just to let you know that I already placed this HDA here, so we already have an ocean optimized for Redshift, and it's 8,000 meters in length. We can change this. I already have like a secondary ray visible just for the rays of the bottom to give some colors. We have like the large waves, the second large waves, mid waves and small waves, and a lot of parameters where we can play around and to give the look. But I will approach this further down the line. For now, just for you to know that I already placed. You can start just with a grid. So let's start. For now, this I normally use this just as the generation for the height field and for the scatter, and I like to have a different geo node here for rendering this terrain into converting it to actually geometry. So let's do this. I'm going to have like a HF, oh no, not HF, sorry, a geo node, and this geo node, let me go dive inside. I'll place this outside no object here, so let's call this out BG terrain, and this is a black one, and so this is the BG terrain. So this is the render one, so the render, let's give it a color like this. Let's use like a brown. I normally use a brown color for the terrains and green for vegetation. So this is okay. Object merge, fine, and then let's bring it in here, hide. Okay, so this is our terrain. It's looking good, so good. And into this object, doesn't matter because we didn't change anything, so that's the one. And now for the foreground terrain, FG terrain, we do the same thing. Let's get the foreground terrain. Let's dive in here, and let's bring this one up to here, and that's the one. Okay, so we don't need to see these ones anymore, so we have just this. So now let's give it a light and a camera. The camera is already there. Let's play with the camera. So we want the camera to be something around this area, maybe this one, yeah, maybe something like that. I still don't know, like we're still going to play with the camera parameters later, but for now the view I would change it to 35 so we can have more, maybe something like this just for now. Then we can play with that further on. And then let's place a light. I'm going to use dome light so we can have some reflections. This dome light, let's get, I have already some mid-res here for playing with this. Clouds is great, dusk, I think this one is good, and maybe this one, yeah, this one. They are very bright. I need to reduce the exposure on this. So anyway, we have this sea color, yellow, and let's place redshift. Okay, it's good for now. It's good for now. And system RTX. Yeah, it's all good. So we don't have any colors yet, but we can just give it a render and see how it goes. So let me save this. We have a lot of geometry in this foreground element now. Actually we didn't convert it to height field, we just brought it in. So let's do the conversion now. Still saving. So let's convert this. First the background terrain. So we have this one, and then we can do HF convert height field. We have 4 million polygons for this background. We can reduce this to 0.5, and then we're going to be up to 1 million. Yeah. So half here, it's times 4 less. So yeah, it's great. I think we can play with that later if we need more resolution. I don't think so, but this one, it's a lot of HF convert. This one has we reduce it to 0.3, so we have a lot of 11 million polygons. You need to think if you need that amount of polygons, or if you can reduce that. So it's up to you. You can also put also a poly reduce, select some areas and make them less with less poly count. It's also a possibility. For now I'm going to do this just like 0.5 again, just for us to have an idea of the look of it. So it's going to be white, this and the background, but let's fire the render and then we see. Yeah, it's already very interesting. These snow mountains that we created, these snow islands. Yeah, you see the ocean is really nice, a lot of details in this HDA. It's a great way of controlling the ocean, and we have all this variation already. So yeah, I like the look of this, and it's very promising. Look our rice fields. So let me just play with the camera a bit, so we have like this more visualize better the rice field here. It's looking awesome. How much detail we have in the water, and I like how the HDR is working for us. We don't have any depth of field, we don't have any motion blur, we don't have any fog and any atmosphere. We just have the natural HDRI dome light and giving us nice highlights and shadows, and it's looking awesome. The ocean is a lot of details in here. It's really nice. I like how the background mountains make sense with the foreground. Like look, the same geological area with this same dynamic happening on the island with these steppy cliffs and these more flat areas like this, and looks really nice. When normally when you have like these vertical cliffs, it's more like a new kind of terrain, in the sense of like it's older terrains. They have more rounded. Normally they have more rounded shape, so these vertical clips are more related to newborn, like a volcano or eruptions that created these islands like Hawaii and all these. So that's great. And in the next one we start shading. Let's start maybe with the background, because they are just easier for us. They are just further there. We don't need to worry too much with a lot of details, and then we can focus in the foreground island and give a lot of attention to it because it's very in front of the camera. So see you in the next one.